Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to center field for the official coin toss. Would you please welcome the Honorable Anne McClellan, the Minister of Health and Member of Parliament for Edmonton West. Joining Anne today, two very special guests. George Hitzroth from Port Perry, Ontario, attending his 56th Grey Cup, and Ed Miller from Toronto, attending his 67th consecutive Grey Cup game. Now, let's join the referee, Mr. Dave Yule. Dave, take it away.
Gentlemen, this is the coin, this is the head, and the tail. I'm going to have Miss McClellan toss the coin, but first I'd like you to call it, please. What do you call it? You call tails. Please flip the coin. It is a head. You've won the toss. You choose this half or the next half. You will defer to the next half. You will have the choice. You will receive. Which end will you kick from? You'll defend that end. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great game. Edmonton receives. Thank you very much.
To stoke this crowd, and the 90th Grey Cup Classic is underway from Commonwealth Stadium. One of the upmen, Anwar Stewart, and the Eskimos swarm him quickly.
Well, nice job of getting down. They try to go to short kickoff. Hopefully get down there and cover and cause a turnover right off the opening kickoff. See Cavill there, Haskins, Big Phillips, the running back. Look for him to play a lot today. Stokes, Cahoon, Woodcock on the outside, and Darren Hall, the wide receiver. A big, good offensive line. True left with Flory, O'Keke and Fort at the tackle.
Stokes in motion. Calvillo drops the shotgun snap, but delivers a strike over the middle. And Jermaine Copeland has the catch on what could have been a disastrous opening play.
Well, how'd you say? This handles a snap. He's going to sit back in a shotgun, right through the hands, gets it up, picks it up, very lucky. And I got to give the offensive line credit for that, because they allow him the protection to pick that ball up and find Cahoon downfield.
14 yards on the opening completion of the game. On Thanksgiving, Calvillo hit 9 different receivers. Here comes the blitz, and Terry Ray has Calvillo back at the 46.
When you watch the last game between these two teams, Edmonton was very conservative on defense. They only went after him 3 times, and Montreal made him pay. I think you have to go after him. He's not that mobile. He's got a bit of an ankle problem right now. Great job of Ray coming off the corner. Can't get out there quick enough to get him picked up. There's the first sack of the afternoon, the first big play by the Eskimo defense.
They call him T-Rex. He had a sack last week in the Western Final. Loss of 9. And so 2nd and 19 back on the Alouette side of half as some debris floats onto the turf. And we join Mark Lee.
Chris, here's the latest on Calvillo's ankle. It gave him so much problem this week. He had to have it injected before the game, so it's frozen, and it's giving him problems with his footwork.
Here's the blitz again, but a completion to Ben Cahoon, and he'll be wrestled out by the veteran Malcolm Frank. And they are separated quickly, short of the first down. Frank, a little exuberant, nearly drew the extra flag.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing. The penalties have been a constant thorn in the side of both these teams. No love lost between them. There's Reese Charbonneau inside. Great game last week. Calvin Kinney, the sack master. Alfred Payton at defensive end. Powell Mobley, Terry Ray with the big sack on the opening drive. And the secondary, Malcolm Frank, Garrett Kellogg, Brady, and Crutchfield at the corner.
Terry Baker into punt on 3rd down was brilliant last week. 48.7 yards against the Argos. Nearly blocked, and the ball will carry him out of play at the Edmonton 20-yard line. Kelvin Kinney bringing the heat, and so only a 32-yard Montreal punt. And here's Ricky Ray, who has been unflappable this year. 11 regular season starts. He was great in the Western Final, How is he going to hold up?
Oh, I love his nickname, Cool Hand Luke. And his left tackle, Bruce Beaton, says, you know what? He's got ice in his veins. He says nothing rattles this guy.
Well, the Alouettes certainly tried to. They knocked Ray out of the game in the last meeting in mid-October. First down and no blitz, so Ray steps up and crosses the 20 over the line of scrimmage. Short gain. Ricky Ray couldn't find an open receiver.
Nice job of Ricky Ray to pick that ball, put it down, don't force anything. See Ricky Ray, Avery, Baker the fullback, the converted O-lineman, Tucker Vaughn inside, Hervey, Brazel at the wide receiver, and an offensive line who probably played his best game of the year last week. Princeton, Comiskey, Groenewegen, Morris, and Bruce Beaton at the left tackle.
That offensive line terrific in the Western Final against Winnipeg, but they have had their hands full with the Alouettes this year. Now the Al Show blitz. Ray gets it away, and Jason Tucker wanted to run with the football before it arrived.
Well, that's what we're talking about. He's going to have to make a quick read, get rid of the ball quickly. Does just that. He gets it to Tucker. Tucker doesn't catch it. Defensive line, filling on Brown. Mark Migna, Reggie Lowe at the end. The linebacker crew, Johnson, Strickland, Stephon Reed. Great game last week at linebacker. And the secondary, Fortan, Durden, Derek Cott, Shaw, and Perry Carter at the corner.
Keith Stokes awaiting the punt of Sean Fleming. And remember, Stokes in August, 2 punt return touchdowns against the Eskimos. Good snap from Roger Reinson. And it will be Stokes at his 51. Stokes trying to get outside. Look out. And a big tackle there as it looked like Stokes was about to turn the corner. 17 on the return. And Terry Ray made sure there was not more damage done. Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton filled to the brim for the 90th Grey Cup Classic. Neither team able to score on their opening drive of the game. A first drive for Montreal without Lawrence Phillips, who's in the huddle now.
He's in the huddle now, but I'm still concerned about the punting situation. Fleming, I mean, I don't think you want to kick the ball to Stokes. You want to kick it out of bounds.
Phillips on 2 gimpy knees, a 6-pack for Calvillo to throw to, and he looks for Copeland, who can't bring it in. Well, Signor Mobley step for step with Copeland, and he's a linebacker up against the slot back.
Well, that's a nice job of going all the way by Mobley. Step for step, as you say. Again, good protection initially. Albert Reese is going to knock Anthony Calvillo down after he throws that ball. You just got to start riding the quarterback. The biggest thing is you can't let AC sit back there and get any kind of rhythm, any kind of a comfort zone back there.
The ball at the Edmonton 43. 2nd and 10. And Calvillo with a flag down. The play doesn't get off, and perhaps an indication that the noise here at Commonwealth may impact on the Alouettes today. It, of course, was in their favor last week in the Eastern Final.
Well, absolutely.
Azuma Okeke was the man who moved the big left tackle.
Well, that's one of the things. He's just right over here, and that's all he's going to do. He's just anticipating. You see, his biggest thing right now, when he's going against Alfred Payton, he says, you know, I got to get that first step back to get faced up with 56. The sack match is so important. That's all he was concentrating, and he missed the snap count.
What a great matchup that is. Alfred Payton, the top defensive player. Okeke has been the top offensive lineman. It's 2nd and 15. A pass underneath. The ball comes loose. Is that a live football? They're saying incomplete. And you wonder, because a week ago, a similar play led to an Alouette touchdown when a pass was ruled complete and a fumble.
But you gotta like the way they're covering right now. Not only are they covering the guy, they're keeping everything in front of them. And once he makes the catch, then it's up to Crutchfield to hit him. And when he makes contact, that ball comes loose.
Chris, that's a fumble based on the way it was ruled last week in the Argonaut game.
Well, I didn't think it was a fumble in the Argonaut game last week, to tell you the truth. I don't think he had a possession of the football. I don't think he had his feet down last week, but that's another game.
Big hit by Crutchfield, separating the ball from receiver. Great kick by Baker, and Tucker lets it bounce into the end zone, and this is going to go all the way through, and the Montreal Alouettes score first in this Grey Cup game on a 68-yard single by Terry Baker, playing his final game in the Canadian Football League. The native of Bridgewater Nova Scotia.
Well, I'm really liking the way the defense is playing right now. It's very critical for Edmonton to kind of set that tone. You can see John Avery getting ready to take back and get on the football field. We'll see what he will contribute. He didn't do much in warm-up before the game. Troy Mills, who they dressed just in case, took a lot of the reps.
And didn't do anything all week, but watch from the sidelines. He told us he won't know if the hamstring will hold out until he carries the football for the first time. So let's find out. This is John Avery, the leading rusher. Not much there, as the linebacker Tim Strickland says, not on this side of the field.
Well, they're basically just going to slam. Well, they got 8 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they're just going to go, and you can't block everybody. The backside, one of the biggest things that Don Matthews has incorporated is great team speed on defense. And here's evidence of that right now. As 38 just comes from off the corner backside and tracks him down.
Avery led the league, but mustered only 60 yards total in 2 games against the Alouettes. 2nd and 9, and the screen pass is well read. Terry Vaughn dropped immediately by Reggie Durden, and for the 2nd straight series, it's 2 and out for the Eskimos.
Well, it's 2 and out. They're going to bring the middle linebacker blitz, and Kevin Johnson's just going to come to the middle. When he comes to the middle, now Terry Ray's got to get rid of the ball. Now he throws it low, but that's exactly what they want to do. Durden's just going to sit right back there. He says, you know what, I'll give you that. I'll give you the 2-yard catch, but I'm going to tackle you and take everything away. Now it becomes a point. Edmonton says we want to get the ball quickly in the hands of our receivers. Hopefully they can do something after they catch the ball. Durden says no way on that play.
Well, let's see if Fleming approaches this 2nd punt differently. You don't think he should be kicking it anywhere near Stokes, right?
That is correct.
Blocked. Fleming gets it again. He'll take off and throws a pass downfield. And this ball, a pass interference call coming up. And the Eskimos escape a disaster. Well, I'm not sure what possessed Sean Fleming to pick up the ball and throw it, but after a block, the Eskimos are going to get the benefit of a pass interference call.
Well, absolutely. Mark Washington coming through originally gets the block. The ball goes straight down. That allows Fleming to pick it up. Instead of running with the football, he decides to throw it and throws it down there and draws a pass interference call.
Mark Washington with the 6th punt block of the year for Montreal.
Well, Stokes with the call. I mean, the returner coming to play that football. Now remember, he's a receiver. So when he plays receiver, he's not really worried about defending anybody. He just comes in too quick. He sees the football. He tries to get up there.
Well, that's as strange a play as you're going to see. A punt block here by Mark Washington. The Owls thought they were going to get one last week against Toronto. The Argos made the adjustments. The Eskimos did not. And here's a pass for Jason Tucker, the speedy All-Canadian. He's through. Flag down as Tucker scores, likely coming back.
I thought that was a wonderful job of blocking on the outside by the receivers. Anytime you run a hitch, Chris, you got to get some help to get your receiver to the outside. I thought they did a great job of doing that, but obviously a little too good, because just after he broke through and it was in the clear, the flag came down, and usually that means they're going to call a hold. Well, Robinson's going to get the call.
They called 26, we believe 86.
Right in there, you can see right there, just going to get his hands in there. He's got him inside, but you can see the sweater gets there, and that's a late flag. I mean, he's looking at him. He's already past him by the time the flag is thrown.
Well, if the penalty used circled was the culprit, it was Terry Vaughn, number 3. In any event, it's 1st and 20 back at midfield. A 45-yard touchdown to Tucker, wiped out. Ray had a little footing problem and throws incomplete and nearly intercepted. Perry Carter, the former Eskimo, almost had the first pick of the game.
Well, Hervey and Walters in the same area, both stopping, one going to the flat, one trying to come back inside. Just a little past the outstretched hands of Avery and almost an interception. Take a look at Avery. You know, he does a lot when he runs with the football, but he really prides himself on his blocking ability. He does a nice job of picking up the blitzing Stephon Reed.
So Ricky Ray 1 for 3, and that completion was for a loss of 1. And it's 2nd and 20. Avery stays in to help block, but Ray now ditches the ball incomplete as the pressure coming again from that Montreal defense. And Big Ed Fillion has been a problem this year for the Eskimos.
Well, we talk about the fact that they usually bring 8 or 7. They're only bringing 4 guys right there. You can see here they come right at the middle. This is just determination by Loan Fillion. You have got to give him more time. You got 5, blocking against 4. There's no excuse for that. You want to win this football game, you better be able to block those front 4 if that's all that's coming.
Eskimo receivers seem to be having problems with the footing, and they had problems protecting Fleming on the last punt. This time he gets it away. And Stokes lets it go by him. And this is going to stop before the goal line. Flag down, a late flag, apparently for no yards. Stokes hoped that bounced into the end zone. Instead, it stopped short, and it's a 55-yard punt by Sean Fleming. Alouettes backed up, but with a 1-point lead. Well, it's our pleasure to welcome Armed Forces viewers around the world watching on Canadian Forces Television. The game also being carried south of the border by America One, Fox Sports World, Fox New England, the Sunshine Network, and the Yes Network. Midway through the opening quarter at Commonwealth Stadium, the 90th Grey Cup game, and a 1-0 Alouette lead. There was a no yards call. It's only 5, so the Alouettes will start at their own 6. Defense is dominating early. Calvillo in his end zone is able to get it away, and more slipping and sliding. The intended receiver, Ben Cahoon.
Well, they come with the pressure. They bring the blitz. It's a good job again of getting penetration. The result, though, Ben Cahoon, who says he loves to play at Commonwealth Stadium, he loves the grass, just loses his footing. As you can see right now, they're in the trunk trying to find out what shoes to wear that will give him better traction here, Chris.
Let's join Mark.
Yes, commotion on the Alouette bench. Many of the players, Chris, are getting out of their cleats and into the molded sole. It's too slippery, they say.
Ed Hervey told us prior to the game it's the worst he's seen the Commonwealth Stadium turf. 2nd and 10. Again from his end zone, Calvillo downfield has Jermaine Copeland. Copeland with the catch and all the way to the Montreal 45.
Well, Jermaine Copeland, who is being the big receiver against the Eskimos all year, just runs a seam pattern. Straight down the seam in his zone coverage. Finds it. Nice protection. Nice throw. Right on the money. Gets some separation. It becomes a little bit of a foot race. Loses his footing and does get brought down. But not until he picks up a good gain on the play.
Jermaine Copeland, a former Tennessee volunteer quarterback, was replaced by Peyton Manning, and so he moved to the wide-out position. Threw a touchdown pass here on Thanksgiving on an option play, and the Eskimos have called a timeout as Alfred Payton's steamed up about something.
Now they've got to get it all straight, but I love the play selection by AC. The biggest thing is go deep and stretch his defense. Earlier drives are just kind of dinking it along, a little short passes. Everything is staying in front of the defenders. Stretch that defense. Make them be worried about getting beat deep.
Now Calvillo signaling for his receivers on the silent count. And looks this side. There's Pat Woodcock. And it's incomplete. Woodcock will argue the call. The native of Ottawa, who the Alouettes feel is an emerging superstar. He led the CFL in average yards per catch this year.
Absolutely. Almost 24 yards a catch. This nice swim move to get outside and then comes back to the football. What he's complaining about is he feels that Malcolm Frank got his hand in there trying to knock his hands down, limiting his ability to come up with the football. He may have something on that one.
Woodcock, an outstanding year. He was on his way to 1,000 yards before pulling a groin in a game here in mid-October, 2nd and 10. And the time clock had run out. The Alouettes don't get the playoff. And again, they're not hearing the whistle down there with the noise at Commonwealth.
Well, it's a nice job. And what it is also, Chris, is the Edmonton Eskimos are walking up to the defense. They're not lining up in it. Everybody's always said all year that Edmonton will line up. They're moving late. That's causing some problems. Anthony Calvillo is seeing this. He's trying to change the play. As a result, he's got caught twice with the time clock.
It's been said that the Eskimos have traditional defense, but they gave us a lot of different looks in the Western Final, and apparently giving Calvillo different looks here. Another problem with the shotgun snap, but Cooley gets it away. Cahoon will be stopped short of the first down.
Well, that's twice he's mishandled the shotgun, twice the ball, and twice he's been able to pick it up and make something out of nothing. Good protection from the offensive line. If this offensive line breaks down at all, Anthony Calvillo is going to get smacked. Does a nice job, just drops it, mishandles it, then it gets up, looks around, good presence of mind, swings it out, gets it complete to Cahoon. Too short, and once again, Baker's in to punt.
It's almost as if everybody's preoccupied with the footing right now, or feeling the nerves. Baker just gets it away. Jason Tucker, remember Winston October not here. Tucker is. Look out! And he is stopped by Stefan Reed in Alouette territory at the 53. Problems with the snap. The exchange from center, and Ray just plunges forward for a yard or two.
Now, one of the things we have to talk about, Chris, is the fact that a lot of times it looks like it's just the exchange, but I also think that the footing is definitely a factor right here, because they're so worried about getting back, getting their proper footwork done so they can either hand the football off. He just doesn't get it. Just looking at it, you can see the feet are slipping right there.
Center Tim Prinzen, a 99 Cup winner with Hamilton, and here come the Alouettes early. Were they drawn? Adriano Belli moved quickly. We're going to join Steve Armitage.
Chris, the Edmonton Eskimos have started changing their footwear. A lot of the players are going to that multi-form shoe, with hopefully will give them more traction. A couple of players have decided to change. They went out of the longer spiked tip shoes and into that multi-formed shoe.
5-yard penalty against Belly. Second down at 4, and John Avery plunging ahead, but not much there. Reggie Durden moved up, and the Eskimos are short again, and they have not been able to establish anything on the ground with Avery.
Well, it's an interesting thing. They just want to go off tackle, and he just gets the ball. Now, one of the things about the slippery field is he can't come back. One of the things that a back with the speed and the quickness of an Avery loves is traction. He just doesn't have it here. That limits his ability to cut back, and as a result, the swarming defense of the Alouettes traps him.
Sean Fleming into punt. He told me yesterday, don't expect any field goal attempts outside 42 yards. Harry Baker said probably not outside 40 yards. So in this case, again, a punting situation. Fleming trying to pin them as he kicks it into the corner and out, and it will be marked at the 12. So for the second consecutive time, Montreal will start deep in their own zone after a 35-yard punt. Alouettes have looked good defensively.
Well, they got that great team speed. They're just doing everything right now. They're going to give it a little dump pass in the middle because they're so confident in their defending ability to come up and make the play. Good pressure. They're going to fool you. They're going to bring 8. Right now, they are bringing everything, and when they bring everything, Ricky Ray is having a hard time.
So the Alouettes take over on their 12. And while we mentioned Edmonton hasn't established a running game, Anthony Calvillo hasn't tried to run yet. 8 straight passes. And now he flares it out. There's Thomas Haskins out of the backfield. And he's met by Shannon Garrett, playing in his first Grey Cup game. Garrett, a 7-year CFL veteran.
Shannon Garrett does a wonderful job. People, you don't understand how hard it is, how slippery it is out here. And when you have to go one-on-one with the ever-elusive Thomas Haskins in the open field, it's a nice job of staying in front, knowing what he has to do, and bringing him down.
Don Matthews taking Thomas Haskins and really applying the same offensive philosophy he used for Pinball Clements as a Toronto Argonaut when they won 2 straight Grey Cups. Second down and 8, and Calvillo over the middle, and that ball up for grabs and falls incomplete. Jermaine Copeland, the intended receiver once again.
That's a nice job of covering by the secondary of the Edmonton Eskimos. I mean, Anthony Calvillo's got all day to throw this football. He's looking for someone to find. He tries to throw it. He leads Copeland right across. Nice job. Little stunt by the Eskimo defense, little twist action. He just steps right into the open area and tries to thread the needle to Copeland, who's got good tight coverage on the play. Little twist. You can see Kelvin Kinney coming inside. Charbonneau's going to go to the outside. Something just to try and confuse that offensive line.
So 40-year-old Terry Baker gets set to punt from his own goal line. Tucker awaits at midfield. Not a great kick. This one bouncing around the 45. Tucker's got it, and he's immediately stopped on the play. Tim Fleiser in first on the tackle, a 35-yard punt. On the turf at Commonwealth was supposed to be advantage Edmonton. So far it has not. Here's a quick hitter left side, and Herbie, world-class speed, and Herbie takes it for a first down.
You want to bring everybody inside the tackle box. You want to line up 7-8 guys. How to attack this defense? You go outside. It's a nice job, little hitch pass. Once again, you see both receivers? Both receivers. If you're not catching the football, the next thing they got to do is they got to get a block. They both do a good job. That is really nice. Brazel does a nice job of doing that. That allows him to get to the outside. Nice execution of the hitch pass.
14 yards for Herbie. He had 117 in his last meeting against Montreal. Here's the give. John Avery swarmed immediately. And as Avery just not able to accelerate because of the hamstring or the field.
Well, and they also did one other thing this week, Chris, and they decided to line up John Avery closer to the line of scrimmage. They figured, you know what? Montreal runs a one-level defense. They put everybody in a straight line. They're trying to beat you with too many guys. They figured if they line up John Avery closer to the line of scrimmage, he's got a better opportunity to pop through. Right now, with the field conditions the way they are, he's having trouble getting traction, and Montreal's defense is just suffocating him.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Ray on a roll, looking downfield, incomplete, as he was trying to hook up with Chris Brazel.
That's a nice job of getting Ricky Ray outside of the pocket. I don't think you can make a living today, especially of letting your quarterback sit back there like a pylon. Get him outside where he has an opportunity to try and throw the ball or run with the football. Sit there now. The pressure's coming. That's a nice job of Mark Magna, 54, staying on his pass rush, contained, staying. Do not let the quarterback get to the outside of you.
Here's another example of what Fleming mentioned yesterday. This could be a 45-yard field goal attempt, but the Eskimos opt to punt. Fleming trying to angle it and put it out of bounds near the 15-yard line. And again with the footing, the Eskimos not confident about a long field goal attempt. Not just a 24-yard punt as we join Mark.
Chris, there's an intriguing game going on behind the scenes here today at the Grey Cup. The Montreal game plan includes the stealing of Edmonton signals of plays from the sidelines. The Eskimos say they're aware that the Alouettes have videotapes of their signals, and sources around the league say that the Eskimos aren't the only team Montreal has spied on. Now, to counter that, the Eskimos are using 2 people on their sideline to signal in the plays, trying to confuse Montreal. But a high-play source with the Alouettes say they've got lip readers because a lot of coaches mouth the plays when they call them. Chris.
Sounds like a spy novel. Danny Machocha, of course, the offensive coordinator making the calls, was on the other side last year. The Alouettes familiar with his signaling, and there's Lawrence Phillips with his first productive carry.
First cover just goes right up there behind the big right-hand sides, Flory, and big Neil Fort, 350 pounds. That's what he's listed at.
6 yards for Phillips. Is this a page out of Cal Murphy's book? Did you steal signs?
Only stop signs when I was trying to drive home.
2nd and 4. 6 receivers out. Calvillo dumps it off. Here's Lawrence Phillips, and Phillips crashing to the Montreal 40 with the first down. And again on 2 wonky knees. He refused to have his knee drained this week. There was speculation that that would be necessary for him to play.
Well, the biggest thing they say is they would hopefully only get 11 big-time plays. They're not expecting Phillips to last the entire game because of the knee condition. But if they get 11 big-time plays out of him, they're going to be quite happy. Phillips
drilled there as he left his feet to short gain after the 19-yard catch and run on the previous play.
Well, that's one of the things that Phillips gives you. He's great athletic ability. And I tell you what, if it's not there, he's going to try and hop over and make something happen.
We're through a defensive-minded opening 15 minutes in Edmonton.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
The Montreal Alouettes, the only visiting team to win at Commonwealth Stadium this season and stay within a point. Phillips got 2 on his carry, so the first play of the second quarter, 2nd and 8, Montreal. And the pass incomplete. Pat Woodcock had it sail over his outstretched hands, and he'll confer with Calvillo, and Montreal must punt again.
One of the things they're trying to do is they're trying a lot of motion, and they're trying to get everybody across the field. It's like a big traffic congestion in there, and they're hoping to rub or pick off one of the defenders and allow one of the receivers to come open.
Former Alouette Glenn Young coming in on 2nd and long situations for the Edmonton defense. And now Jason Tucker checked back in. Baker to punt. Kinney's got it! Kelvin Kinney with a block. He came close earlier, and the Eskimos are on it at the Montreal 36.
Chris, this is something they've employed last week against Winnipeg. The long snapper, Winnipeg Conkin. They put Kelvin Kinney over him, saying we're going to rattle him. We feel the big neck, he gets some pressure, and maybe block a punt. He didn't do it last week, but he's come close a lot already today, and here he comes and gets his reward. Just beats the up back inside, gets the big hands. Remember, this is a 6'7" guy. When he puts those hands up, it's about 7 feet. Great job of blocking, and knocking that ball down.
So the Eskimos set up in Montreal territory. Ray short drop, and that pass incomplete for Tucker. Ricky Ray was out of the game in mid-August or October against Montreal midway through the second quarter.
Well, one of the things you're taught is never let the attacker come to the inside. As an up back, your job is to push the defender to the outside to create a lane for the punter to get the ball off. He allows Kinney to come to the inside, gets the hands up, and the rest is history.
2nd and 10. Great protection, and now Ray delivers incomplete. Trying to hit Jason Tucker once again, and this Eskimo offense has not been able to get out of neutral.
Well, they can't get out of neutral because everybody's slipping and sliding on the football field right now, and Jason Tucker just coming up, trying to work, trying to get back to the outside. His feet fail him, and as a result, he slips. He can't get out where the ball's intended to go. The ball sails harmlessly complete.
Well, considering the type of game it has been, Tom Higgins is going to try one from 43 yards out, or no, Jason Moss, who was to be the holder, now steps up. It's 3rd and 10, and the Eskimos now go into an offensive formation. The backup quarterback, and well, they're not going to get the play off. So they weren't going to try the field goal, and they aren't able to catch the Alouettes napping.
They were just exactly what you say, Chris, trying to catch them napping, trying to get somebody wide open they could throw the ball quickly. Once they saw that the Alouette defenders adjusted and covered the 2 split backs, they just let the clock run out, take a time count. Now they'll bring the punter on. Sean Fleming will punt it away.
Well, the Eskimos tried something different in special teams last week and converted a 3rd and 27 on a fake punt. Don Matthews is the master, and we may see a few of his tricks as this game progresses. 3rd and 15 after the time count violation. And again, Fleming's job just to pin Montreal deep, and he does a nice job inside the 10. So the Eskimos trying to play the field position game in the first half. This has the makings of some of those 70s defensive battles between the Als and the S. as Calvillo tries to go to work in the air. Woodcock's got it, and look out, Pat Woodcock could go. Only Malcolm Frank, he's not going to get there. And the Canadian speedster has a 99-yard touchdown in the 90th Grey Cup.
"99 yards later. This is something the Montreal offense did not do last week. I don't think they attacked the Argonaut defense at all in the second half. You have got to stretch this defense. Nice to the play-action pass. Again, good protection. Little post right across the field. He gets some separation from the defender. And then when he gets to the open field, Pat Woodcock, who they say is the fastest receiver on that Alouette team.
The longest pass reception in Grey Cup history. 99 yards to Pat Woodcock, a former ball boy for the Ottawa Roughriders. And the extra point provided by Terry Baker. And the Alouettes jump to an 8-0 lead. He was at the Grey Cup game in 1988, Chris. He was in your dressing room afterwards. A big Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan, a James Murphy fan. But Murphy never had a play like this in the Grey Cup.
When you go that deep like that and you get the separation from the speedster Woodcock, Jackie Kellogg is just in a chase position. You can see Malcolm Frank trying desperately to try and come up and hopefully tackle him before he hits the end zone. But you gotta love the way this guy gets the ball. He breaks a tackle, now he gets out there, now he's in the open field and turns on the Jets. It's a good effort by Malcolm Frank trying to drag him down, and Woodcock takes it all away, 99 yards.
But a record-setting performance by Woodcock finally gets some offense going in the 90th Grey Cup game.
Well, I'm actually surprised that both teams haven't tried more of the deep pass, because remember, the offense always knows where they're going, so they have a little bit of an advantage, especially on a field like this.
Here's Mobley on the return, and now perhaps a little more urgency for the Edmonton offense.
You see right there, Pat Woodcock, head of the class now after that 99-yard pass and run. Red O'Quinn, the former record holder.
That was also done against Edmonton as Sam the Rifle Etcheverry hooked up with Red O'Quinn.
Back in 1954.
Eskimos won 3 straight over the Alouettes in the 50s. Ricky Ray stays at quarterback, and Avery hit hard by the former Eskimo Rob Brown, as it looked like that was the first time Avery seemed to have a burst.
The whole thing, the whole premise of the Alouette defense is gap control. Now he's sliding. You want to talk about strength? He is sliding away from the back. Avery sees the hole. He thinks he has an opportunity. Look at the strength. He's going around Groenewegen with one hand and pulls down John Avery.
Just a yard for Avery. 2nd and 9. Ray with lots of time and has a completion and a first down. Jason Tucker with the catch at the Montreal 51.
Well, it all starts with the big boys up front. You're going to give Ricky Ray time. He's going to have an opportunity to find somebody. That's a nice job. A little bit of a push-off, but that's what you got to do in these conditions to get a little separation from the defender. It's a nice job with Tucker, but the big boys up front, good protection. Sits back there. You got all day. Nice job of getting the ball, threading the needle, getting it to Tucker.
They say that Tucker, the best route runner on the Eskimos. 1st and 10, Ray sliding and nailed. A sack on the play by Ed Fillion, the native of Essex, Ontario. And he's public enemy #1 in a few CFL cities, the way he can rough up quarterbacks.
Well, they call him the quarterback hunter, and there he is right there. They try to cut block on him. If you're going to cut, you better get him down. But I also believe in a philosophy, he who hesitates is lost. Ricky Ray, if you're going to go to the outside, keep going to the outside. The fact that you had to pull up and stop, that allowed Fillion to come and put the crunch on you.
I guess he's the modern-day Angelo Mosca.
That's a compliment.
It sure is. Loss of 10, 2nd and 20. And Ray looks downfield. Terry Vaughn's got it and drops it. He did not have possession, and it's ruled incomplete. And you do not normally see the sure-handed Vaughn drop a pass like that.
And Chris, we just talked about this. I said, I'm surprised you're not going deep. He's going to work on Durden. Look how he turns him. Now she's got him turned. Now he comes back inside. Durden misplaced the football. And as you say, the usually reliable hands of Terry Vaughan lets him down. He bobbles the ball. He sees it. He tries to pull it into the chest. but that's a nice job of Derek Cott coming over there and knocking it loose at the last second.
So it's third down, and Fleming again wearing a brace today on an injured knee, sailing a beautiful punt back to the 10-yard line. Stokes with a nice direction change and may have dropped the ball. Stokes hit by Terry Ray, but he does hold on. That was a 51-yard punt. 10 on the return, and the Alouettes on top. Welcome back to Edmonton, Commonwealth Stadium. And right now with an 8-0 lead, 62% of fans across the country apparently like the Alouettes.
Boy, I tell you, that's a heavy gamble. You're sure? You may want to reevaluate.
Fans urging the Eskimo defense. Lawrence Phillips, right side, turns it upfield and gets close to the first down at the 29.
Well, Lawrence Phillips, the beneficiary of a great block by fullback Bruno Happel. It's a nice job to get to the outside and get on Mobley. You can see right there, he allows him to go inside. That allows Phillips to get to the outside. And Lawrence Phillips with those bright blue shoes does a nice job of picking up good yardage.
Don Matthews says Phillips changes our identity, and he's certainly the guy that can punch it in from inside the 5. You wonder how many times they want to test his knee today.
Well, you know what? The philosophy right now is this is the last game of the year. You know what I mean? It's everything. There's no sense holding back. Use him until he can't be used anymore.
And that usually is Don Matthews' philosophy. We saw that last week when he kept Anthony Calvillo in.
He says, you know what? But he also said one of the things about Anthony Calvillo is that you can never pull him out of the game. He refuses to come out.
Less than a yard to go, 2nd and 1. And Calvillo will roll to the left side, a little hitch, and it is a gamble that doesn't pay off. Darren Hall nailed by Crutchfield, and it'll be 3rd down in a punting situation.
And I like the call. It's a great call. The nice thing about it, Crutchfield was up to the task. He's just going to slide. Everybody expects the quarterback. He throws it out there. Nice job. The ball is late getting out there. When you run that kind of play, you know what? Darren Hall has got to get that ball a lot quicker. By the time he catches it, Crutchfield's right there. If he gets the ball quicker, he has a chance at least to make a move and hopefully make Crutchfield miss him.
A loss on the play, 3rd down. Tucker has had a fine first half in the return department. Baker gets it away, and Tucker slips across the 50 to the 52. 36 on that Baker punt, 6 for the return. Congratulations, by the way, to the St. Mary's Huskies, Vanier Cup winners yesterday. Steve Armitage, an alumni member and a former quarterback there, and Blake Nill, the coach, a former member of the Montreal Alouettes. And again, John Avery unable to establish anything on the ground, and Ed Fillion's had a big first half for the Owls.
Well, the biggest thing is John Avery just can't. He's slipping off the top. Look at him. Now he's trying to do it. Now he is a key of stutter stepping. He loves to get them feet going 100 miles an hour underneath him, and he can make his cut and find a hole. But right now with the tracking so slippery, he can't get it going. And as a result, the Alouette defense is just time and time again taking them down.
Loss of 1. This is the leading rusher in the league. He's -3 after 5 carries. Pass over the middle. This time, Terry Vaughn. Nice catch. He's going to be just short, as you see on our virtual first down line. Flag is down, however, and it's in that area of Eskimo holding.
Well, they definitely are calling it against the Eskimos. I did like the way they did pick up the blitz, though. And by that, I mean they took the inside guy the blitz. Let the farthest guy go free.
Rick Walters is the culprit.
Well, they saw the blitz, so what happens is Rick will slide into the inside, right off the end of the offensive line, and he'll pick up the initial or first guy past the offensive tackle. That allows the other guy, Tim Strickland, to come free, but he's got a longer way to go.
Walters, a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the '97 Grey Cup game here in Edmonton. So it's 2nd down over 20, and a long throw by Ray, and Ed Hervey unable to run under it.
Well, the world-class track man trying to catch that football. You've got that kind of speed. Send him vertically. Just get out there. He got time to throw the football. Ricky Ray just simply overthrew Ed Hervey on that play. See the numbers there, eh? 3 for 11, only 27 yards.
And you begin to wonder about Jason Moss, who has had to relieve Ray.
Well, remember the last time these two teams met, Ricky Ray, not very successful, as you say. Moss comes in and throws for over 340 yards, so that may well happen today.
Fleming's punt not as deep, but gets an Eskimo bounce. Stokes inside the 25. And down at the 30-yard line, Sheldon Benoit, a former middle linebacker with the Alouettes, makes the stop after a 45-yard Fleming punt. It's been 25 years since the Montreal Alouettes last won a Grey Cup. That, of course, was the famed staple game at Olympic Stadium. Tony Proudfoot, who is here, still has the staple gun he used.
Thank God that's not on eBay. Everything else is.
We could use some staples right now, I think, for both teams. Here's Phillips slipping as he took the handoff, and he goes down. Kelvin Powell, the middle linebacker, there to touch him down as we join Mark.
Chris, Montreal's offensive coordinator Jim Barker has a three-plank plan coming into this Grey Cup. Number one, he has what he calls the win zone. Inside Montreal's own 20-yard line, his goal is to get the ball outside the 40. Every practice this year, they've started on their own 1-yard line. Number two, the score zone. They've got to get the ball when they're inside Montreal's 30. They want to score a touchdown 75% of the time.
Well, he told us the other day that Pat Woodcock was an emerging superstar. There's a pass sailing over the head of Darren Hall, and he also has a 99-yard touchdown play, doesn't he, Mark?
Yes, he does. That's right. Now, listen, right now, Montreal has scored a touchdown each time they're inside the 30, 58% of the time this season. That's their efficiency. The third category is victory offense. Jim Barker wants his team to score a touchdown during the final 4 minutes of the game or end the game with possession of the football. Last week, they did both in the final 3 minutes against Toronto.
Barker has done an outstanding job in the Alouettes with 13 regular season wins. Here's Jason Tucker. Gathering speed, but unable to turn the corner as Anwar Stewart was step for step. And some words exchanged on that sideline after Baker hits one for 43 yards.
I'll tell you, one of the funniest things I like to watch is you look behind, you saw the big man, Kelvin Kinney, get a block on Terry Baker. They've changed the back blocking now. Instead of having 2 up back, now they're going with 4. So they bring 4 guys now. They're holding up. Runs right in there. It's a nice job. There's the big man. He's going to come right in there. Now look, they got 4 guys blocking him. That's Tim Fleiser, who they brought in for a little extra protection to prevent another block on the punt.
Ricky Ray goes to work. A long out. Brazel, far side, is able to avoid the first tackle.
Very nice.
Wayne Shaw.
Well, I love the fact that they do this, the hitch pass. We talked about that. You can see there's Dwayne Mandrusiak.
In his 15th Grey Cup, Chris, and they are looking for another type of shoe. The footwear problems haven't been solved.
They're going with the nubs a little bit deeper than the actual flat turf shoe, something that's going to give more contact with the field.
4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. All Montreal offensively, as that stat indicates. There's a completion and a first down to Jason Tucker.
Well, just a safety blitz. We talked about the fact that Ricky Ray has got to get rid of the football, working in front of Derek Hutt. Tucker does a nice job of keeping him behind, using the body. Here's the blitz. There's a safety blitz. Stephon Reed's right there. Ricky Ray, equal to the challenge, gets rid of the ball quickly and completes it to Tucker.
I think they should be checking Tucker's footwear. He's been running well. Here's the blitz again. And the screen pass, and Avery can't get loose.
Well, there's nothing more frustrating to an offensive lineman than a defensive lineman who won't rush the passer. Bruce Beaton wants Reggie Lowe to come up. Come on, beat me. Go to the quarterback. If he does that, that will allow Avery to make the catch and have some room. Reggie Lowe doesn't do it. He doesn't even try and attack Beaton. Sits there and actually plays the screen. That's a nice job of 99 defensive end.
2nd and 12. Moss blitz on, gets it away, it's complete. Jason Tucker again to the 20-yard line.
You want to run the safety blitz? Hey, that means your safety's not there. That means the middle of the football field is wide open. It's a nice job of recognizing this. John Avery's going to slide over. He takes the first guy. That's Stephon Reed. Always let the outside guy go. He does a nice job. Ricky Ray gets an extra second to go downtown and complete a huge pass.
Jason Tucker, 3 catches, 57 yards. He's returned 4 for 57. A huge day. Had a 45-yard touchdown called back. And now Ricky Ray has some time to survey into the end zone, and this ball is picked off. Reggie Durden with the interception.
This is, Chris, this is a poor decision by Ricky Ray. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be unhappier than the man himself for throwing this football. Initially, good protection. Now he sits there, He wants to go, but there's nothing there. A little pressure. Now he steps up, and he actually throws his sidearm, and he throws it in. There's good coverage. It's not a smart move. You know, on that play, get rid of the football, throw it out of bounds, regroup, rehuddle, come up with another strategy. That's a poor decision by quarterback Ricky Ray.
And Terry Vaughn waving for the football, uncovered Durden with a touchdown on an interception last week. A fumble recovery. And he is the best cover guy in that talented Alouette secondary. So Montreal takes over at the 25, and Calvillo has some time, looking to the near sidelines, intended for Darren Hall, and it sailed into the Eskimo bench, incomplete.
He tries to go down, 25 yards down the field to the flat, trying to find Darren Hall, working against Crutchfield. And now see the hand there. You know why he's got that? It's always to give you separation. If I got my hand on the defender's back, I've got at least 1.5 foot separation. So if I have to make a cut, I can actually push off to get some more separation for the defender.
Steve Charbonneau comes out of the game for Edmonton on 2nd and 10. Glenn Young checks in, another former Al. Here's the blitz, and they get to Calvillo, who barely got it away. That's Terry Ray off the edge again.
Well, you know what I like? You know what, Chris? All you hear all week, Don Matthews' philosophy on special teams, offense, defense, is we will not defend, we will attack. All of a sudden, since last week, the Eskimos say, you know what, we're the same way. We're going to attack. And for the second time, you see Terry Ray coming on a blitz and making something happen. First time a sack, this time knocking the ball incomplete.
3:02 remaining in the first half. The Alouettes with the 8-point lead, a 99-yard touchdown catch and run by Pat Woodcock, the Ottawa native. And now Terry Baker to punt for Montreal, and Terry Vaughn instead of Jason Tucker to return. And a brilliant punt by Baker, driving it over the head of Vaughn. That's a huge punt, and it's bouncing down to the 6-yard line. They'll get the no yards, but that's only 5, and that's an exceptional punt. 79 yards for Terry Baker, getting his last kicks in his final Grey Cup appearance.
Well, I tell you what, how are they getting so much pressure? I want you to watch this guy right here. That's left shoot. Now, that's the linebacker right there. That's his first read. Now watch, if that's clear, he's got to come back out. He's got to pick him up. That puts him in a no-win situation. By the time he gets out there, Terry Ray's already there. 2 times already today. He's beaten that block and got a hit on Camille.
There's Kevin Lefsrud, the Viking Alberta native.
You know what, and you're talking about October. He didn't play today. Terry Vaughn, the rule of thumb is never let the punt bounce.
John Avery, and that's as much production as we've seen out of Avery today. Again, Rob Brown with the tackle, but Avery just trying to get his numbers into positive territory.
Well, Rob Brown, who leads the team with 8 sacks, the strength. I mean, just fighting off the block again. Leo Groenewegen, the 16-year vet, having his hands full. Big Rob Brown today.
Groenewegen told me yesterday he thinks those are the best 2 tackles in the league, bar none. 2nd and 6. Ray with time underneath. A completion to Avery, but he is taken down by the middle linebacker, Kevin Johnson, the former Stampeder. And another punting situation, the 8th of the game for Edmonton. The only other drive was stopped by the interception.
Well, this is absolutely, he's looking downfield. He can't find anything. This is the release outlet. The last guy's going to look at. The biggest thing about that is, hey, you know, Kevin Johnson, they call him the Birdman because he flies all over the football field. He's just going to sit back there. You can throw little dump passes in front of him because he's going to come up and he's going to close down on that play.
Fleming has to answer that 79-yarder by Baker. This ball will be taken by Stokes at midfield. And Stokes is able to shake through to the Edmonton 40. And with under 2 minutes to go now, the Alouettes with an opportunity to add to their lead as we join Mark.
Thanks, Chris. On the Alouette bench with injured defensive back Baron Miles. Baron, last week after you missed the Eastern final, you were so hopeful that you'd be able to play here, but that leg hasn't healed. How hard is it for you to stand here in civilian clothes and watch?
It's very hard. Once I realized I wasn't playing, it was kind of hard to even go out to practice field, just knowing that I wasn't going to be able to perform in this game. It's the biggest game of the year, and you want to play in it, but right now it's a great job by young guys, and they're making plays, and I'm happy for them.
Baron, hang on 1 second as we watch Lawrence Phillips go around the outside. Let me ask you this. The field conditions, it looks like the defensive backs may be having the toughest time of anybody out there with them.
Yeah, it is tough. I'm trying to tell the guys to make sure they get in front of the receivers and make them move instead of us moving. So we make them move first, they're going to slip first, so that gives us the advantage.
Baron, thanks for your time.
No problem.
Chris?
Baron Miles, the top defensive player in the East. Runner up to Alfred Payton in the awards. 2nd and 4. I think this is a big series, Chris. 8-0 Alouettes trying to pad the lead before halftime, and Phillips is going to be stopped short.
Well, he looked like he changed the play. Anthony Cavillo originally went under the center, came back, turned, talked to the backs. Whether that was a confirmation to make sure they were all on the same page regarding the snap count, but he gives it to him right there, and he runs in, and a nice job by the tackles closing on that, limiting the gain, forcing a 3rd down situation. Well, again, another situation where the field is really controlling what really happens on that game.
Well, neither has been in a huge factor. The edge to Phillips, of course, and now a 42-yarder, and again, that seemed to be the outer edge of makeable on this turf for these 2 kickers, at least in their pregame discussion. Baker was 7 for 7 against the Eskimos this season, and he remains perfect in his final Canadian Football League game. A 42-yarder for the 16-year veteran in a half dominated by the Alouettes.
Well, you know what, and how big is that not catching the punt by Terry Vaughn? It's a change in field position. They don't move, they punt the ball, Stokes gets it, brings it across, where even if they don't move the football offensively, they have an opportunity to still put some points on the board. You can't lose the battle of field position.
And it was especially surprising in that Jason Tucker has been so impressive on returns today. So Ricky Ray has a minute 15 to get something done in this first half. Short drop, pressure on, but there's Terry Vaughn with the catch and more as he crosses the Edmonton 50.
Well, that's a nice job of Ed Hervey lining up beside Terry Vaughn. He's going to run down the field and come back into the middle. As he comes into the middle, he tracks all the defenders. That allows Terry Vaughn to get out to the flat. You see Terry Vaughn, they're so worried about the speed of 81 that they let number 3, Terry Vaughn, go.
16 for Vaughn, who set a new CFL standard with that 8th consecutive 1,000-yard season, the model of consistency in the CFL. Here's John Avery, and finally Avery able to get protection off the left side. John Avery had 4 straight 150-yard plus games, unprecedented in the CFL. That streak was stopped by the Alouettes.
Well, he gets outside. I still don't think we're seeing this. I mean, he looks like he's laboring to get outside. You know what? Even because of his exceptional speed, that may look fast for a normal running back, but that's not fast for a guy like John Avery.
He had 6 on that carry. 2nd and 4. Now they swing it to the other side. Tucker trying to swim away from the oncoming defensive player, but can't shake loose. And again, the Eskimos are stymied here on what is likely their final possession of the first half.
But it's a nice job of just getting out. It's a hitch pass. You see the pressure's coming. They're going to bring the safety blitz again. But he gets outside. John Avery, look at, run the ball. That is unbelievable. Taking Stephon Reed down at the knees. I tell you what, you do that enough, Stephon Reed will be looking for number 20. He'll hesitate because that's a great smash mouth block by John Avery.
On the other side of the ball, it was a sure tackle by Tim Strickland that forces Edmonton into yet another punting situation. Stokes, 17-yard line. And up across the 25. Well, let's see if Montreal plays close to the best here, or whether they take a shot to build on this lead. Phillips. And Lawrence Phillips is able to spin up near the 35-yard line.
Well, Lawrence Phillips looking like he's got some good traction here. As you say, he does spin out of a couple tackles. That may just be the power of Lawrence Phillips. We know about it's the fact that when he gets out there, it's a big man, hard to bring down. And as you say, he looks like he's got some traction on that play.
3 times a 100-yard rusher this season, 6 times over 90, and one of 5 1,000-yard running backs in the league this year. 2nd and 2. Back to Phillips. And he's strung out and will be short as time winds down in the first half.
Nice job by the defensive end, Alfred Payton, stringing it outside. They're trying to run a sweep. They're trying to get Phillips to the outside, let him use his speed and his strength to pick up the 2 yards needed to keep the drive alive. Payton does a nice job, initial contact, and him flying to the outside. He forces Lawrence Phillips back inside. That's exactly what you have to do as a defensive end.
Top defensive player in the country. And the Alouettes are just going to kill the clock and head to the dressing room. Well, I think the biggest surprise is that the Eskimos had more problems on their own home turf with the footing, and Tom Higgins has some real problems with the way the Alouettes dominated that first half of play.
You know what, Chris? I'll tell you one thing, though. I think if you take back the one bad throw by Ricky Ray that was intercepted and the non-catchable punt by Terry Vaughn, we could be in a different ball game.
Here we go. Singer Mobley. And Mobley up to the 40-yard line. 21 on the return. Stewart the tackle for Montreal.
I see Ricky Ray coming in there. He's spreading the ball around. A lot of the conservative ones right here just trying to throw the hitch passes out here, hoping the receivers can do something. He's got the one big one, though, to Jason Tucker. How about that drop ball, though, by Terry Vaughn? He may have gone, if not for the hustle of Derek Cott to knock that ball loose.
1st and 10, Edmonton at the 41. John Avery, and again running into a white, red, and blue wall. That front four has shut the door, and Stefan Fortin, the safety, moving up to help out on the tackle.
Well, here's the scenario. They only have 9 rushing yards in the first half. I do not think that Avery is explosive right now. I think he's having trouble with the footing. You got to remember, he has got a little bit of a handful too. He's still not 100%. You know, you wonder if you're going to see a bigger back in Troy Mills sometime today.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Ray, open man, first down, and his primary receiver on the day, Jason Tucker, has his 5th catch.
Nice job of getting protection, sitting back there. Ricky Ray. Jason Tucker finds a hole in the zone, sits back down, now settles his feet, secures the catch, knows he's going to get tackled by Durden as he comes up, holds on to the ball, but picks up a big first down.
Chris, we should mention it was an extended halftime. The Eskimos brought in a lot of extra bikes and had their players riding the bikes during the halftime to stay loose. Ray lofting this, but Hervey is a step away from running under it. Perry Carter was the defender.
That's exactly what you want to do. You talk about the field conditions. You talk about the slipping. You talk about the defenders. Perry Carter in this case. He's got to turn and run with the speedster, Ed Hervey. I love it. It's just a little rainbow pass. Just sit out there, just try and throw it up under, and hopefully Hervey, the world-class sprinter, can come underneath it. But look at that. That's what stopped him right there. The little tug on the back of the jersey by Carter.
Former teammates both in Edmonton and with the Oakland Raiders, so they know all about each other. Hervey working against Carter, and it's 2nd and 10. And Ricky Ray steps up, looks deep. He's looking for Tucker, and he has it inside the 20. Jason Tucker is burning Reggie Durden in this Grey Cup game.
Well, Montreal only rushes 4. As a result, the offensive line does a nice job of picking it up. It allows them to find us. This is a long time developing play. Comes across underneath, away from the linebacker, away, gets some separation from Durden. The ball is delivered just when it has to be, and he holds on to it just as soon as Durden comes over. But look at the protection. That's what you got to do. Allow him to step up and find a receiver.
They have energized the crowd at Commonwealth. First down. Here comes the rush. And Ray throws it into the turf but avoids the sack as Stefan Reed, the Kamloops native who admired Larry Ruck, a former Eskimo linebacker, came in and applied the heat.
Well, they're going to bring the blitz. It's just going to come off the outside right there, and that's a nice decision right now. You're saying, why is it a nice decision? Because for why he does not force this. He throws the ball to an open spot. It's almost like you say, hey, let's regroup. Get back in a huddle. We live to play another day.
There's an indication of the heat that's been applied on Ray today. 2nd and 10, wide open. Rick Walters, touchdown.
Chris, we talk high risk, we talk high reward. But I'm going to tell you right now, it goes against them. You're bringing the safety blitz. When the safety blitz comes with the middle linebacker, there's nobody in the middle of the field. It's simply a case of getting the recognition by the quarterback, Ricky Ray, and seeing the wide open Rick Walters for an easy catch for a touchdown.
The high school product out of Archbishop O'Leary here in Edmonton. Rick Walters has the first major score for the green and gold. Right back in it early. 3rd quarter in Edmonton. Well, there's some energy on that Edmonton bench now as Ricky Ray repays the confidence his coach showed him.
Hey, high risk, high reward. Take a look. There's one linebacker. Here's the other linebacker. Here's the safety. He's going to come. There's nobody in here. He sees this. It's exactly what you want to do. Recognition. Look at the release. 13 right down the middle of the field. Ricky Ray sees him, throws him the ball. I tell you what, you keep wanting to bring the blitz. You want to bring everything in the bathtub. You want to bring the safety blitz. You're going to get burnt sometimes.
Again, it's Anwar Stewart, one of the up men, and he sidestepped one. And the big man still going. Well, he's a defensive end who did his Mike Sellers impersonation there and crosses midfield as we join Mark.
Chris, we talked in the first half about how Montreal has been able to steal a lot of Edmonton signals in this football game. Interesting on that last drive, Danny Machocha, the offensive coordinator for the Eskimos, was sending the plays in from the sideline with players, shuttling players in and out of the huddle with interesting results.
Danny Machocha was 10 in 1977, sitting with his father Cosmo at Olympic Stadium, watching his beloved Alouettes win the Staple Bowl. Now he's trying to beat Montreal in what is a 4-point game. Lawrence Phillips trying to get outside. Kitty in pursuit, and he's brought down. Couldn't turn it upfield. Kelvin Powell, the rookie middle linebacker, with the tackle.
It's a nice job. We saw Alfred Payton do it to the other side. Kelvin Kinney says, hey, I'll do it as well. Just going to come up and run to the outside. String it out. That's a nice job of stringing it out. Then Shannon Garrett comes up with help from Kelvin Powell, the middle linebacker, to limit that gain.
Well, first it was Shania Twain, then the Eskimos touchdown march, and the fans are very much back in it at Commonwealth. 2nd and 13. AC with time, and now has to bail out. More time to reload. And throwing, almost picked off. Terry Ray got his hands on the football, couldn't squeeze it.
This is the indication. One of the things we talked about all week, Anthony Cavillo has a bad ankle. He cannot run. Right now, he buys himself some extra time. The offensive line, after initial pressure, washes the entire defensive line to the left. He gets to the outside, but he doesn't run. He sits there. You know he's got room to run. He tries to force the throw and almost ends up having that picked off by Terry Ray.
Terry Vaughn is deep, awaiting the Baker punt. Little double clutch there, and not Baker's best. And Vaughn slipped through the first surge of Alouettes. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the third quarter in Edmonton. Well, the joint is jumping now over 62,000 at Commonwealth Stadium. Alouettes dominating the first half, but an opening drive touchdown for the Eskimos in the early stages of the third quarter. And now Edmonton with the ball again, starting at their 20. No rush this time for the Alouettes, but nobody open, so Ricky Ray pulls it down and dropped it. And we've seen Ray have some trouble at times holding the football this year.
Well, I also see Ricky Ray limping. He was hit earlier in the third quarter, and he came up limping, and I think he's struggling as well right now as you see him limp to the huddle. But again, they're only rushing 4. There's Filion with the armbar, working double team. Little head jack, pushing him over. That's a good job of double teaming the big man, the quarterback Hunter. He gets outside, tries to pick it up, and loses control of the ball. His leg almost hits it out of his hand.
Whoops. So it's 2nd down and 8. And Ray threw it into traffic, nearly picked off. Chris Brazel, the intended receiver, and he was surrounded by Alouettes.
We saw the one. We talked about bad decision making. This is one right here. He's trying to force the ball in here to Brazel in triple coverage. You just can't do that. Take a look. 3 guys are going to walk in there, and this is an opportunity for an interception or a turnover by the secondary of the Alouettes as the ball is tipped.
First down at the Alouette 51. 4 receivers left side. Calvillo looking downfield, and incomplete. It was intended for Darren Hall, who looked like he had a step on Donnie Brady. And the Eskimos defensive back was called 3 or 4 times last week for pass interference, and Hall was looking for a call there.
Well, the biggest thing you have to understand is if you see and you're scouting the team and you know a guy like Donnie Brady, you know, has a penchant for taking these pass interference penalties, that's why you go after it. You throw the ball at him hoping to, you know, draw a penalty. But right here, he was step for step with the receiver. Nice job of covering on that play.
2nd and 10 for the Alouettes. Here comes the rush. Calvillo steps up. He's got to run, and he's going to have a first down. Drop the ball, and who's got it? The Eskimos, Malcolm Frank. Kelvin Powell, the middle linebacker, I believe, jarred the ball loose, and the veteran Frank comes up with it.
As you say, Chris, Cavillo first time actually taking off with the football. No one's there. He's not going to force the situation. He tucks it down. Now he knows he's going to get hit, tries to protect himself. Powell lowers his shoulder, but I think actually Terry Ray on the backside is the one that actually jarred that ball loose and allowed Malcolm Frank to come up with the recovery.
So the Eskimos go back to work on offense, and here is John, check it, Troy Mills, not John Avery, so they have made the switch.
Now, I told you about this, and I said one of the reasons you have to understand, weight has a bearing on a slippery field. The heavier you are, the more traction. It's just anything. I mean, obviously, if I got a little tiny Volkswagen on this field, it's going to slide all over. I bring a Mack truck, it's got more traction. Well, that's the scenario. Right now, you got Troy Mills being the heavier back.
Eskimos might have looked at bringing you out of the booth then. Troy Mills is in, and there he goes again. getting outside. Troy Mills down to the 10-yard line. The 9-year veteran with his first 2 carries of the entire season.
But the biggest thing is there's no hesitation. Nothing against John Avery. Hey, you got to give the guy credit for trying to play through a hamstring injury. But Troy Mills, who hasn't played all year, this is what it is. 100. But look at that block. I'm going to tell you right now, that offensive line, woo! They opened a huge hole, and 33 ran right through that.
A 41-yard romp by Mills, brought back to Edmonton as an insurance policy. And suddenly, he's the feature back in the game.
Well, a feature back, but I tell you what the thing is now. I can tell you right now, you're on the defensive side of that football. You know what? You have a little doubt creeping into your head about your supremacy.
Troy Mills is quite a story. Twice 1,000-yard rusher. Over 1,000 with the Eskimos in '99. Retired, but brought back just in case. 2nd and goal from the 5. Ricky Ray into the end zone, incomplete. Couldn't find Ed Hervey.
Ed Hervey just going to work in the end zone, trying to find a way to come back into the middle. Runs a little bit of traffic. Just that little stop allows him not to get to the football. It's a nice job of Ricky Ray, though, throwing it to where only Ed Hervey can come up with a catch. Ed Hervey just kind of stops. See, Ed Hervey sits down in that zone. He figures, hey, I got a spot here. Ricky Ray thinks he's going to keep coming toward the middle, throws it where he thinks Ed Hervey's going to be. Ed Hervey obviously and him on different page on that play.
So now, Sean Fleming, 6 for 7 when the Eskimos won in '93. He missed 3 in the '96 game. And he'll try from 12 yards out. Rough Western final, but he's got his first here. It's a 1-point game. Well, the plot certainly has thickened here at Commonwealth. A 10-point splurge by the Eskimos, and an unlikely hero.
This is the very reason they brought him back. It's an insurance policy in case John Avery couldn't play. Troy Mills, who had his best season in 1999 as an Edmonton Eskimo, with 6 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. I mean, puts him in scoring range, and you gotta love it. Fleming kicks his first field goal against the Alouettes this year, and now we have a close game, 11-10. This is what Grey Cup is all about.
Troy Mills took most of the reps this week. John Avery was a spectator, so at least Mills was well prepared in that regard. But again, his first game of the year. He Stokes. And Stokes up across the 30-yard line to the 37. In fact, the last game for Troy Mills was last year's Grey Cup game. He was a Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
He certainly was. I got to tell you, one of the other things, Chris, we watched the pre-game today, and Troy Mills took all the reps.
And John Avery now looks like he will be a spectator.
Well, the man who had 144 yards rushing last week, destined to stay on the sideline, it looks, for right now.
1 first down for the Alouettes in the second quarter, trying to recharge their batteries, and Lawrence Phillips across the 41-yard line. There's the top defensive player in the Canadian Football League, Elfrid Payton, 12-year veteran.
Well, Elfrid Payton, who had a career-high 48 tackles this year, that's what it is all about right there. Coming from the backside, don't give up. Keep hustling. Hustling creates plays. And that's what Elfrid Payton does. Remember, here's a guy that not only knocked out Milt Stegall, then in the West Final, he knocks out the other explosive back that Winnipeg had, Charles Roberts.
4 yards for Phillips. 2nd and 6. Calvillo across the middle. Jermaine Copeland open, but it falls incomplete, and the momentum shift is very apparent here in Edmonton.
Well, the Big M has switched over to Edmonton's side, but he had to play he wanted. Zone coverage. He had Copeland in the middle. Copeland's got separation. Calvillo just simply overthrows the intended receiver.
So Terry Baker back in. And Terry Vaughn awaits. Another short punt. Vaughn at the 30, and he can't sidestep the oncoming traffic. Jason Richards, the long snapper, with the tackle. 4 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Eskimos back to work on offense with Ricky Ray at the controls, and wide open field for Ray to run up to the 48, steps out at the Alouette bench.
You see what happens when you beat a team that lives off the blitz. Now they come back, they play a little bit more conservative. They're only going to rush 4. As a result, this offensive line allows Ricky Ray the time to look and at least look off a receiver, and then he sees nothing. He gets to the outside and runs for a first down.
Chris, we saw the stat, how stingy Montreal is in the third quarter. The Eskimos with 10 third quarter points. They didn't score in the third quarter in either regular season game against the Als. Here's a pass, and Terry Vaughn with the catch. Danny Derricott quickly brings him down and limits the gain to 3.
Well, safety blitz again. You know, one of the things about Matthews' defense is, you know, they may get burned, but they're not going to give up on it. They're going to keep coming. That's what got him to the big show. Terry Vaughn sees that, just goes to the sideline, gets the ball quickly, but Derricott there to put the stop on him right away.
Well, you talk about halftime adjustments. That's a phenomenal record defensively in the third quarter, allowing less than a field goal. No points in the Eastern Final in the third quarter, but scorched today. Flag down. Ray maintains his footing. He'll take off and then wisely slides. Kevin Johnson bearing down, and this play likely to be ruled by a penalty against Edmonton anyway.
Well, thrown in the backfield, looks like a little bit of face mask.
Wow.
Going against the Alouettes.
Adriano Bele called for the face mask.
And I think both of us, when you see the flag thrown in the back, but we both thought, you know, 99.9% of the time it's a holding penalty.
Well, I would, but you're an offensive lineman, and you guys never do anything wrong, do you?
We don't. What you can see, right, just a nice job of seeing that. That's a good job by the line judge, seeing the hand come up and grabbing the offensive lineman's face mask.
Gives the Eskimos a fresh set of downs. Mills slipped on the play, drops the ball, and a wild pile up. The Alouettes think they've got it, and they do. Montreal with a big turnover here to try and shift that momentum back.
Well, I think Troy Mills just slips before he gets to the ball. He tries to go, you can see he goes down. As a result, he really never really secures that football. When he gets contact, because he hasn't secured the football, pops out, and a big turnover for the Alouettes.
John Avery was talking about this the other day, the mesh point between quarterback and running back, and clearly that was affected by the slip.
Well, the slip is everything in that play right there, because that affects the whole timing and the fact that he never really has the time to secure the football.
Turnovers even. 1 point the difference. Calvillo out of the backfield. There's a name we haven't called much today. Thomas Haskins, incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you what, Edmonton got away with one right there because nobody picked up Haskins out of the backfield. That is a breakdown in the defense, and they are so fortunate that this fell incomplete because there's nobody around Haskins. He's just sliding out of the backfield. Now the back is responsible. Either the middle linebacker, Powell, or the outside linebacker, Mobley. He's got to get out there. Nobody does, and had he caught that, he's going to run for some yardage.
Lawrence Phillips getting into the formation late. 2nd and 10. Calvillo's thrown 8 straight incompletions. And that ball incomplete. Make it 9 in a row. Calvillo trying to hook up with Jermaine Copeland.
Well, Calvillo trying to hit up Copeland. Copeland's expecting to come back to the football. Again, the conditions of the football dictate, the field dictates that he can't come back. A little bit there, trying to push off. You see him slip right there. He wants to come back to the football. A good receiver is always taught, help your quarterback, at least give him the numbers to throw the ball to you. Because he slips, the ball falls down, incomplete.
Terry Baker once again. Just got it away. And Vaughn lets it bounce out at the 27.
And you know what? We watched Terry Vaughn let this ball bounce. Now you're taking a chance that that ball is going to go to the outside. If it still runs down.
Under 2 minutes left, third quarter. And Ricky Ray with all kinds of time. Now he's got to get out of there and does throw downfield. And the ball caught but out of bounds. Ed Hervey couldn't get a foot in.
Well, again, Montreal changing it up, just rushing 4. Ed Fillion getting double teamed. Tim Princeton, Leo Groenewegen not allowing Ed Fillion to get anywhere near the quarterback.
Well, this game has turned dramatically in the second half, as those numbers would indicate. 2nd and 10, Eskimos. One pump, and then a deeper ball for Tucker, and this is picked off. The safety, Stefan Fortin, with the interception, and got held up so he wouldn't step out of bounds. But we do have a flag on the play at midfield.
Well, this will be an interesting call, Chris, because I didn't see the interference. I really wasn't happy with the throw, though. Because the ball hangs in the air so long, that allows Stefan Fortin to make a break on the football, and he comes up with an interception.
Well, Fortin is called on the play.
Well, he's breaking, the ball's up there, and he's trying to go, and he just kind of grabs the shoulder pad, but he really doesn't interfere, and I don't know about that call. I think that's a big break for the Eskimos on that play.
Absolutely. Roy Mills down to the 50. Looked like a good break on the football, and
well, that's all he's doing. You know what he's doing, and actually what I like about what Stefan Fortin does is he tries not to contact. He's actually trying to get around him. Make sure no contact. Hand comes over, trying to go over, makes a nice play, adjusts to the football, makes a nice interception. As you say, suspect call. But
he's done such a good job replacing the starter, William Loftus, who broke his arm, back in the lineup as a reserve. Ray wide open. Oh, he missed Chris Brazel.
Well, I'll tell you what, 2 things happen in this play, Chris. One is the safety blitz again. They're going to live with this. Now, Stefan Fortin misses the quarterback. He should be killed on this play. He doesn't. He allows him the extra time to throw the ball, and he just simply overthrows a wide open Brazel. Here's the blitz. He just runs right by him. You can see 35, Stefan Fortin took the wrong line to the quarterback.
And you wonder if that missed opportunity will come back to haunt the green and gold. Brazel could have walked into the end zone had he caught that. Fleming trying to angle the punt, but that one traveled more sideways than downfield. 24-yard punt. Some tempers heating up on the sidelines, and the captain of the Eskimo special teams, Singer Mobley, helping his mates to the bench and getting them out of any trouble before a penalty is thrown.
Weren't they talking? We were talking about special teams coach Rick Campbell, who said Singer Mobley never leaves the football field. He's on every special team, and he plays defense.
Former captain of the Dallas Cowboys special teams as well, and one of the most valuable Edmonton Eskimos. Final play, third quarter, barring a penalty. Calvillo trying to get the passing game going, but Lawrence Phillips had that go behind him as he fell to the turf. And the Alouettes hold the lead, but nothing going their way in the third quarter.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
Heading into the fourth quarter at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The Alouettes clinging to a 1-point lead. They have not had a first down since Pat Woodcock's electrifying 99-yard touchdown. And now they start 2nd and 10 here in the fourth quarter. At their own 27. Calvillo delivers low, and Copeland, no, incomplete. Copeland comes up with the ball off the turf as we check the numbers through 45 minutes.
Well, obviously the first downs, 14-4 in favor of the Edmonton Eskimos. You just talked about this third quarter alone. Edmonton 8 first downs, the Alouettes none. Calvillo is 0 for 9 in his last 9 pass attempts. Look at the yardage. Remember earlier in the game, this thing was huge. Montreal had the big edge. Right now, it swung the other way.
Anthony Calvillo stone cold, and Baker must punt. Kinney again with pressure. Vaughn at his 40. Vaughn at the 50 and close to midfield. We're in the first minute of what could be the final quarter, or is overtime on the horizon in the 90th Grey Cup game. Ricky Ray has been on the limp but hanging in as he goes back to work and looking deep, looking for Brazel, and the ball falls incomplete. Wayne Shaw, the Canadian corner, in coverage.
Well, you just love this. You got one-on-one coverage. Brazel against Wayne Shaw, the cornerback. He's just going to run him deep. He does a really nice job at the end of this play, though. Got his back turned. Now he's looking for the ball. Now he comes back and tries to go up and make a nice catch. Shaw with a little bit of hand movement there. Just enough to disrupt the concentration of Brazel on that play.
So 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos. Out of the shotgun, here comes the pressure. Ray looking for Hervey, stretches and can't hang on. He lays out for it, but couldn't squeeze it as he made contact with the turf.
Well, I think we're in a comfort zone right now. That is, Ricky Ray is recognizing the blitz, and anytime he sees the blitz now, he's going right to the center of the field. We saw him a hit already, Rick Walters, for a touchdown. Here he just goes deep again and just past the Elstreet's hands. He tries to come up with a super catch. Ed Hervey, fingertips, tries to pull it in, but then hits the turf. As soon as it hits the turf, it's incomplete.
So it is Sean Fleming. And the punters may have a lot to say with how this game will be decided. Here's Stokes, good return, and he is pushed out at the 27-yard line. 11 after the 41-yard punt by Sean Fleming. The difference in this game right now, a 68-yard Terry Baker punt single. And the Alouettes trying to get something going. Phillips, and he can't handle the footing. And may not have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice job, actually. It's a good play. Again, the field actually doing the tackling on Lawrence Phillips. Just a little swing pass, get the big back the ball in the open field, but once again losing footing, going down, and being tackled by Shannon Garrett.
Maybe a half yard for Phillips. And again, a bit of a mystery that Thomas Haskins has not been more of a factor. One touch in the game. 2nd and 10. Here they come. Calvillo escapes and now throws, and wide open there is Woodcock. Anthony Calvillo finally hooks up with Woodcock, but wait, flag down.
Well, I think they're going to tag some additional yards on this as well, Chris. Because of the fact Calvillo was scrambling.
Former Alouette Sheldon Benoit called for roughing. And that's a huge play by Calvillo.
Well, you see Terry Ray coming on the blitz again. He's got him wrapped up. Calvillo fights his way out of that and throws the ball. Now, this is ridiculous. You just don't do that. Sheldon Benoit, who is a part-time player, doesn't come in on defense that often, more on special teams, but that's a mistake, and it's a selfish mistake.
First down since the Woodcock touchdown. It results in 34 yards of real estate. And now Cavillo has to dance around again. Looks downfield. Copeland's wide open. Jermaine Copeland trying to get outside. What a block from Ben Cahoon. Touchdown, Jermaine Copeland. "47 yards as Copeland poses in the end zone."
Well, I mean, the whole thing again, it starts off a good job by Cavillo avoiding the pressure, getting to the outside. This is all Anthony Cavillo right here. They're going to bring pressure. They come up, they close the pocket. He's sitting back in the shotgun. That allows him the extra second. He's already at the depth. Stands up, comes back in, gets to the outside. That allows the receiver, in this case Copeland, to come into the opening, make a catch, a little fake pitch there. Great block by Ben Cahoon to spring him to the end zone.
Ben Cahoon, another weapon that has not been utilized, but he plays a huge role in the play, springing Copeland for the yardage to the end zone.
That's just a nice block by Ben Cahoon, who still goes down and tries to get another block, and actually does on Terry Ray. When he gets his grading sheet, he'll get 2 stars on that one.
Top Canadian in the CFL this year, and there is Copeland with the touchdown that gives Montreal the 8-point lead. Jason Tucker and Patrick Dorvelis, a Montreal native, with the stop. But Anthony Calvillo showed his escapability on that series.
You know what? You're in the 4th quarter, the biggest game of your career right now. You know what? You're going to do whatever it takes to avoid the pressure. Both times, Cavillo does a nice job of getting away from the pressure. Both times he makes things happen. The first, Woodcock. The second, the huge play, the 47-yard touchdown. Right there to the big man, Copeland.
So now the Eskimos have to try and answer back. Ricky Ray, long out. There's Brazel. And Brazel will take it back inside. All the way across with Ricky Ray leading the blocking. And Brazel all the way to the 45. How about a quarterback leading the blocking procession?
You want to fire your team up when your quarterback's out there throwing his body around. Remember, these are the pretty boys. They never like to get dirty. They definitely don't like contact. That's just a nice job. I really like the decision here. You know you got a bad field for footing. You got a speedster, Brazel. He says, you know what, I'll go over there. That's a nice block of Ricky Ray working against Rob Brown. Hey, that's a mismatch, but you know what? You did your job.
20 yards the pickup, and now Troy Mills plunging inside, close to 4. Under 10.5 minutes to go, and let's revisit your Canadian Tire game notes.
Well, we said get all the guns a-blazing, get that whole offense. We got 99 and 47-yard touchdown passes. That's the Woodstock and Copeland on defense. Swarm, smother. 2 turnovers already for Montreal.
Alouette surrendered 10 points in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 6. A little look-in pass, and Terry Vaughn has the catch into Alouette territory. Number 2 on the receiving list in the CFL this year behind Milt Stegall. And let's check your Eskimo game notes.
Well, we know for offense, the biggest thing was win the war in the trenches. You got to give the quarterback time. 84 rushing yards in the second half. Troy Mills with the majority of those. Defense, initiate plan, CCC. That's confuse and crush Cavillo. At one point in this game, 11 straight incompletions.
11 for Terry Vaughn. Mills back to the ground, and he'll pound it down to the Montreal 40. And Troy Mills changed the complexion of this game.
He is the missing link. He is the big key to this game right now. The nice thing about it, he's picking up great first down yardage. That puts Montreal in a bind now. If they want to bring the blitz, what's Ricky Ray going to do? He's got a huge playlist to use when he only needs 2 yards.
Somewhere in Georgia, our old friend David Archer's watching, and he used to always tell me, I know there's guys with better stats. I'll take Troy Mills on my team anytime. And now they plunge ahead for what should be a first down.
Well, I'd agree with Archer's assessment of this guy. I tell you what, he played and started his career with Archer in Sacramento, the gold miners, back in '93. But I'll tell you one thing, the biggest thing, you want to check the book on Troy Mills, he's one of the toughest running backs around, a real short yardage guru.
But such a quality guy, the Eskimos didn't flinch about bringing somebody in this late in the year who hadn't seen any action all year.
But you know in the back of your mind, everybody thought, who may come in and change the complexion of this football game? And you know that we all thought, what if it is Troy Mills?
Eskimos with 11 first downs here in the second half. And Mills once again, this time Kevin Johnson, the middle linebacker, explodes through the gap and nails Mills.
Well, Kevin Johnson, who says, I don't do much talking out there, I really want to lead by example. I let my helmet and my shoulder pads do the talking. Boy, he does on this play. He comes right through the A gap and stymies, just crushes Troy Mills. Nice job of tackling, nice forfeit helmet right between the numbers, kids. That's how you do it.
2nd and 10. And Ray under pressure. Tried to dump it off, intended for Mills, incomplete. And the Eskimo drive stalls with 7:47 on the clock.
The Eskimo drive may stall, but they've moved it out a little bit. They got field position. Now it comes down to Sean Fleming pinning Montreal deep with a good punt.
That drive started at the Edmonton 25. They move it to the Alouette 40. And Stokes awaiting the punt at the Montreal goal line. Better angled punt by Fleming, and it goes out inside the 10. And they'll mark it at the 9. So the Alouettes backed up, but enjoying an 8-point advantage. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium. There's the score. And the Eskimos defense trying to get the crowd revved up so they can pin their ears back. Speaking of the crowd, biggest Grey Cup attendance outside of Montreal in Grey Cup history, 62,531. Anthony Calvillo looking deep, looking for Woodcock, and that ball falls incomplete at the Eskimo bench. Malcolm Frank was step for step.
That's a nice job of not allowing Pat Woodcock to get behind Malcolm Frank. Malcolm Frank kept him in front of him and kept his eyes on the football. That's a double winning combination right there. It's a nice job of staying with the receiver and also staying focused on where the football is.
So this is a critical play. Remember Mark Lee talking about Jim Barker's offensive goals. They're trying to move out of the shadows of their goalpost here and gives their team better field position. 2nd and 10. Calvillo steps up, now delivers, and that ball will sail 10 yards over Woodcock. And the Eskimos defense gets the job done.
The secondary does a great job of staying with the receivers. Calvillo tries to pull another magic again of just getting away from the pressure, stepping onto the grass for the front four, trying to hopefully find one of his receivers open downfield. He elects to go to Woodcock, but alas, there is no connection. Nice job of just stepping up. Nice throwing lane right there. Avoids a sack, comes back up and tries to go deep and well past Woodcock.
Baker in his end zone. Do you consider a 2-point safety? Don Matthews doesn't. Kicking it away, and it will be Vaughn fielding it on the Alouette side of half. Vaughn had trouble with his footing, but somehow stays up and gets down to the 36. 38-yard punt and a 13-yard return. The Eskimos are in scoring range. And away we go back to the action with under 6.5 minutes remaining. Eskimos have Ricky Ray wide open, and Terry Vaughn has the ball skip in front of him.
Well,
that's a missed opportunity.
We've seen this happen time and time again where the field interferes with the receiver's ability to come back to the football. He's wide open. He's going to try and put the brakes on and come back and catch the football. He just can't get his footing. He slides and he has to watch helplessly as it bounces inches from his hands.
Most of those numbers accumulated in the second half. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Ray got it away. Jump ball, and Hervey off his fingertips.
Ed Hervey trying to do the acrobatic adjustment as the ball is in the air. Turns right around, tries to come up with a catch. Little floater. Tries to pull it in. He's got it in his hands. Cannot believe he doesn't come up with the catch. It's right where it should be. It's a nice job of getting separation. He sees where the ball is. He tries to come back. It hits him in the hands. Falls to the ground incomplete.
And Chris, Tom Higgins, again, a chance to kick a 43-yard field goal. Instead, they're going for it on 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. And Ray looking to Brazel, and he's out of bounds. Incomplete, and the Eskimos have turned it over on downs.
I don't understand this. I really don't. This game is about field position. If you're not going to kick a field goal, then at least bring Fleming and pin him deep. Now you've actually, all you've done is you let Montreal, instead of starting under the shadows of their own goalpost, they've got breathing room at their own 35-yard line. I am not sure about this call.
And at worst, Sean Fleming puts it into the end zone. They get one and make it a 7-point game, and that wouldn't have been intended, but...
Well, you know, and this is against his nature. Everybody talks about Tom Higgins and his conservative nature.
Back to work go the Alouettes. Lawrence Phillips trying to get outside, and he does. And Phillips up to the 45, close to a first down.
And how many times have you seen this? I don't care what sport it is, where a team tries something different, it backfires, and all of a sudden the other team starts getting a little momentum.
Nine yards for Phillips, one of his most productive carries of the day. Well, Tom Higgins has made a decision that certainly will be talked about. Bruno Appel, the big fullback, a rare carry for a first down.
Well, Appel is a big back, short yardage expertise artist. Doesn't get to touch the pigskin very often. When he does, he usually scores a touchdown or he picks up that crucial first down.
Had a touchdown in the Eastern Final, just one during the regular season. He was a regular fullback last year, utilized a lot. Don Matthews said, I'm not going to do that with you. Be my best special teams player, and he has been. 1st and 10, and the Alouettes don't like the way things are lining up.
That's a nice job of confusion created by the Eskimo defense by shifting around. Move around late. Don't line up in it. Move to it late. Cavillo sees that, pulls back, wants to change the play, realizes with the 20-second clock, he doesn't have enough time, so he just lets the clock run out and takes the penalty.
Now Charbonneau checks out. Sheldon Benoit, another former Alouette, is in. 1st and 15. Calvillo unloads downfield, no one home, and he was under heat again.
2nd down. They're always going to bring the heat. 1st down, they're going to change it up. It's a nice job.
Both
going after him.
And Ray off the edge.
Well, that's what it's all about, is don't give the offense a key. Don't give them something they can sink their teeth into, knowing, for instance, they know you're going to blitz every 1st down or every 2nd down. Change it up. Come on, 1st down.
John Avery headed back to the room for the 2nd time. Under 4 minutes to go now. 2nd and 15, and that ball falls incomplete.
Interesting route that Cavillo tried to go to, which was basically a seam pattern by a streaking Pat Woodcock. When they're bringing everybody and the wide field, or the inside of the field, the middle is wide open, you would have thought that the receiver, Woodcock in this instance, would cut back into the middle. It makes an easier catch and an easier throw for the quarterback. They're bringing everybody. Mobley off the side, Terry Ray from the other side. He elects to go straight down, trying to hit a flying Pat Woodcock.
So the defense does the job, but again, had it been 25, 30 yards further after a punt, think of the field position they would have had.
You know that, Chris. That's what it's about. And I agree with you 100% on that. Had they pinned him deep, They may get the ball very well back in Montreal territory.
Terry Baker's done himself proud in his final CFL game. 13th punt. He's averaged over 45 yards. Here's Vaughn, 26-yard line. And Vaughn is taken down. That's another great downfield tackle by Jason Richards. Heading down the home stretch. 3:33 to go. There's a penalty to Randy Chevrier, the McGill product, and Montreal native going against Edmonton, so they're backed up their 16-yard line. Ricky Ray, quick hitter. Jason Tucker with the catch in front of Danny Darricott.
Nice job again of recognition and making a quick decision. Ricky Ray recognizes the all-out blitz coming again, gets the football, fires it, and it's a nice job of the receiver recognizing that as well and cutting it to the middle.
7 catches, 113 yards for the all-Canadian wideout, Jason Tucker. And the 3-minute warning being given to the benches here at Commonwealth Stadium. Well, concern on one bench, anticipation on the other. An 8-point difference, a touchdown and a 2-point convert separating these teams with 3:05 left on the clock.
Well, I think it goes to both the answer of why Don Matthews elected not to give up the safety when he was deep in his own end. He said that would have made it a 6-point game or a converted touchdown win for Edmonton.
Second down and a yard to go, and Troy Mills with authority moves the chains. Chris, while we have this opportunity, I'd like to salute Gord Judges. Remember the former Alouette, an old teammate of yours in 1981. He was named the high school coach of the year for his work with the St. Mary Catholic squad, I think in Pickering, and it's really nice to see a fellow like Gord honored. And by the way, he kept the staples from his shoes. He keeps them in a little container as a memento of the 77 Cup. Here's Mills out of the backfield, up to the 40. And Troy Mills continues to be a focal point in this Eskimo attack in the second half.
But the situation is this: they're getting good first down production. This is what it's all about right now. It's good decision making by Ricky Ray right now. Doesn't force the ball downfield, goes to his outlet, Troy Mills.
2nd and 2. Once again, Mills stacked up, and he's going to be short, I believe. Well, may need a measurement.
Well, this is a good job by the D-line of the Alouettes of stuffing it, getting underneath the offensive line, not allowing them to get any kind of movement, and as a result, Troy Mills runs into their back, which is going to bring up a 3rd and very short situation.
Eskimos want a measurement, but I think the officials are quite content that it is short, and our virtual first down line would indicate just about a full yard.
But you know, it's a smart decision here. Remember, you have the right to ask for measurement. What it also does is it allows you to get together with your quarterback. So it's almost like a timeout. You bring him over, you get another chance to talk to him about what you might want to do in the situation.
So it could come down to this. 2:24 left on the clock. They turn it over on downs again, and this one is in all likelihood in the books. Ray pushes forward, and give those Eskimo offensive linemen credit for keeping this drive alive.
Well, you know what it's all about right now. It's do or die. We don't get it. Montreal gets the ball in our part of the football field as we see. There's what it's all about right there, Chris.
The Grey Cup being paraded in. And once the crowd here sees that, you will get a reaction. First down. There's a pump, and then underneath again, Mills stopped by the 2 linebackers, Johnson and Reed, after a pickup of close to 9.
Well, Montreal trying to change it up defensively, only rushing 3, dropping 9. Trying to form a little bit of an umbrella coverage, not allowing Edmonton to go deep, forcing Ricky Ray to have to only take the outlet pass.
Second and short again, and Mills should move the chains. A deliberate drive. Not feeling any sense of urgency here with under 2 minutes to go.
This is smart. Let's take a look at what they're doing. They're rushing 3, dropping 9, taking away the deep threat, forcing Ricky Ray to go underneath. He'll pick up 8 or 9 yards. Then he has to waste a handoff, and I hate to use the word waste, but you're eating clock.
8th play of the drive. It started at the Edmonton 16. Close to midfield. Time for Ray. Now he'll go deep. Looking for Hervey. Jump ball. And it's incomplete. Reggie Durden, big play as he closed quickly on the speedy wideout of the Eskimos.
Well, Ed Hervey, he's a guy that can get it done, and it's another way to wake up the Alouette defense. Don't think this one's in the bag yet, folks, because we're going to go deep. It's anybody's ball right there. He's trying to fight for it. But I think the biggest thing that happens right there is Durden does a nice job of getting his hands on the football as well as Ed Hervey, and actually rips, as he goes over him, he rips the ball away from Hervey. It's a nice job by the defender.
Could have been an interception, could have been a completion. Good battle there. 2nd and 10. Ray with time. Now downfield. There's a first down. And Jason Tucker continues to be a story for the Eskimos.
Well, you talk about Ed Hervey's speed. They always say the one thing about this guy, he's got the total package. Speed, hands, and he's got great awareness of where he is on the football field. And that is paying dividends right now.
And here's a first-year quarterback who's had a tough day for the most part, but again, we're crunch time, and he's showing how cool he can be under pressure. Throwing another one, and a flag down in the Eskimo backfield, incomplete.
Well, you hope this, and it's going to be holding. This is a backbreaker because Montreal is only rushing 3. That means you have 5 blockers working against 3 rushers. Inexcusable to take a holding penalty.
Chris Morris, the 11-year vet, the right tackle, charged on the play.
Oh, when the clock is your enemy right now and you're moving the football and you get a holding penalty, and oh, it just bad timing on that one.
Now Don Matthews takes the penalty. It means it's 1st and 20. An extra down for the Eskimos, but 10 more yards to make up as they go deep. And that ball knocked down. And once again, Reggie Durden. Terry Vaughn, the intended receiver.
Well, flag on the play as well on the far side. That ball to Terry Vaughn, though, a little underthrown. I think if you're going to run a streak pattern with Terry Vaughn, you want to put it where only he can catch the ball. So throw it past him and let Terry run.
Oh, Reggie Durden making contact on the receiver. And that was enough there, apparently.
Well, right there, you know what that is, Chris? Reggie Durden realized he was beat. He was beat. He said, the only thing I can do is reach out and disrupt that pattern. He does that, takes the penalty, but doesn't give up a potential touchdown.
So it is a first down for the Eskimos. Ricky Ray getting a lot of time, and wide open Brazel! He's got it inside the 5.
Cool Hand Luke. That's his nickname, boy. He's putting on a show right here. What a beautifully thrown football. Right to the corner, little fade pattern. Right on the money to Brazel. Does a great job of concentration and coming up with the big catch. Putting the Eskimos 1st and 10 on the Alouette 3.
59 seconds left on the clock. Remember, this drive started at the Edmonton 16. Mills, and he won't get in. The door slammed shut. Stefan Fortin, the safety, in the thick of it.
Well, you got the Alouette defense. They've done a great job for the most part of stuffing the run. It's always tougher to score when you're in the red zone.
14th play of the drive. 2nd and goal from the 2. Ricky Ray dropping, rolling, in trouble, and down he goes. Rob Brown, the former Eskimo, and Mark Megna. And it's down to one play for the green and gold.
One play. You have got to get rid of this. I know you're trying, and you understand what he's going. Ricky Ray is trying his hardest to hope that something comes open, that he can get rid of the football and make something out of nothing. But what he's done, holding on to that football, he's made this third down situation that much harder, where he would have had 3rd and 3. Now he's 3rd and a whole bunch.
So at worst, he should have just thrown it through the end zone.
Throw it away. Throw it to the sideline. You know, he's played so well today, Chris, but he's made a couple of crucial bad decisions. That's one of them right there.
A loss of 15. It's 3rd and goal from the 17, and a former Eskimo made the big defensive play.
Well, we also have to give credit to the secondary, the Alouettes, with good coverage.
They have to get it into the end zone unless Montreal is penalized. He has time, and he has an open man. Hervey, touchdown!
Chris, this is a blown coverage. What a time to make a mistake on the defensive side of the ball. Ed Hervey wide open. No one's got him. Miscommunication between the secondary. Durden running helplessly over there, watching the ball sail softly into Hervey's hands with nothing he can do.
And now it comes down to this. A 2-point convert to tie. Ray looking end zone. Vaughn, incomplete. And Montreal with a 2-point lead and 19 seconds left. And Chris, remember 2 years ago, it was a missed 2-point convert that cost the Alouettes a chance to win the Grey Cup.
You know what? They tried to get it in the year 2000. Tried to get the 2-point conversion to Haskins. He tripped on the goal line and fell. BC won the cup. What a great job in this case of Strickland coming, following the very elusive Terry Vaughn, who was there trying to clear it out, get him to the flat. Strickland, nice job of going there. You can see there's head coach Jim Barker jumping up and down, celebrating. Lots of hugs, lots of love in that booth right now.
19 seconds left. 2 points the difference. Let's go back to the decision to go 3rd and 10 when the Eskimos could have tried a 43-yard field goal. That might be the difference in the game.
There's 3 decisions. One we can forget about now because Ricky Ray's decision to hold on that ball and get the sack, he amended that by the fact of finding Hervey in the end zone. But you're right. The 3rd down gamble that cost him field position and the one bad throw in the first half when Ricky Ray did that forced pass and he got the ball intercepted. But I really think that is the key, especially in the second half. You can't really worry about what you did in the first half, but the field position right there, that may come back to haunt them.
It's not done. 19 seconds left. The hands team on for the Eskimos, trying to get the ball back, but Ray won't have much time, even if they're successful, to get it in field goal range.
I'm sure there's viewers out there going, if that happens. Well, that's what we talk about. The CFL is never over till it is over. There is still another crack at it for the Eskimos with the onside kick. Remember, the ball's got to go at least 10 yards before it can be recovered by one of their own teammates.
Ball on the ground. The high hop. It is fielded by Copeland, and Jermaine Copeland is going to score. And there is no doubt now the Montreal Alouettes are going to win. "47-yard kick return by Jermaine Copeland to nail it down."
Well, when you're going to kick the onside kick, the team that is receiving it is called the hands team. A lot of celebration going on in Montreal, but the hands team is made up of your best receivers. The whole object is to make sure that somebody that's used to handing the football has an opportunity to come up with that. Well, he takes it a step further. Not only does he come up with the catch, or the bouncing ball that Fleming tries to kick, but takes it all the way back 47 yards for a touchdown, Chris, to seal this game.
A dozen seconds left on the clock. And the years of frustration and close calls in Montreal are over. Terry Baker about to cap his 16-year career. But convert is good. And Anthony Calvillo and the Alouettes are in celebration mode already.
Well, you talk about the hands team, and just a dribble kick, hoping to kick it off what he wants to do is bounce it off that front wall of blockers, because they're not usually the best hands, but he gets it, it bounces over them, it goes to Copeland, and Copeland takes it all the way down and basically puts the lid on the coffin.
Montreal will win this game, tied for the fewest first downs in Grey Cup history. Only 7, but Jim Barker won't quibble. As the offensive coordinator celebrates with Ted Gill in charge of the defense.
Back it up. Let's go. Hey, listen. Well, a hard-fought game by both teams.
Don Matthews with some last-second instructions before he can put his clutches on another Grey Cup title. Dan Comiskey, a second time he's lost a Grey Cup game on this field. Bruce Beaton still looking for his first CFL championship. Troy Mills with the return, and now one last play. John Avery, the hamstring or the field, whatever, did not allow him to be a factor today.
Well, but they also got great production out of Troy Mills, the man they brought in to replace him in that situation. But you got to feel for some guys. Leo Groenewegen, 16th year, and here he is, and second crack at the Grey Cup, and to come so close and to have it slip away.
Eskimos with 18 first downs in the second half to Montreal's 3. And there's Leo, who was so hopeful that he could end it with his first Grey Cup championship. Bray dumps it off. Troy Mills. Mills with a first down. As the clock winds down, they'll get one more play. There's 1 second left on the clock.
Well, there's not much left. The players realize on the Edmonton side that it's over, and there's the jubilant side. The head coach, John Matthews, talking to Thomas Haskins, who had a quiet afternoon, Chris.
Don Matthews about to celebrate his 5th Grey Cup championship as a head coach. One last shot. Rick Walters with the catch. We'll play rugby. And the ball intercepted by Perry Carter. And 25 years after their last cup, it's a silver anniversary celebration for the Montreal Alouettes, Grey Cup champions 2002. Baker ending his career today on a winning note with his second Grey Cup championship. Let's go downstairs and join Mark Lee.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Jim Barker and Jermaine Copeland just celebrating this tremendous Grey Cup championship. Jermaine, can you put into words your feelings? 2 outstanding touchdowns here today.
Oh, man, I feel great. You can't feel much better. Grey Cup champs, it's what we've been working for. Come up here to get this ring, and we came and did it. Came and did it. That's all I can say. It's a great feeling.
What was going through your mind there when Edmonton was threatening in the dying seconds?
Really nothing. I got a lot of faith. You know, I believe, and I knew that I came here for a reason. We was going to win championships no matter what. And, you know, I got a good bounce, and I just took off with it. I had fun and had a great time doing this. A big up to all the players on the team. All the players.
Jermaine, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go over to Steve.
Thank you very much, Mark. Lawrence Phillips, you've been a man of few words all season long. Can you tell us what it means to win a Grey Cup? Okay, LP. What's it mean to win a Grey Cup?
Oh, it's excellent. It's the biggest biggest cup you can win in professional sports. Our team came out at the beginning of the season. We said this is what we wanted to do. We came out and we did it today.
Did you prove something to yourself this season?
Oh, I just wanted to prove I could come back after sitting out for 3 years and still run the ball. And this is a great kickstart wherever I end up. I'm just glad I'm back playing. And the first time I came back, we won a Grey Cup, and that's huge.
Thanks, LP. Mark, over to you.
Thanks, Steve. Here's the winning quarterback, Anthony Calvillo. Ed Hervey with some congratulations here as we continue to celebrate here at center field. Anthony, 9 years in the CFL. You had your best season passing this year, but did you finally make your name as a quarterback with a championship today?
I mean, the critics are going to say what they want to say. As long as I have the confidence of the guys in the locker room, that's all that counts. And we had it today, and we walked away with a victory. But it was a team effort. Defense played awesome. We struggled in the second half, but it was a team win.
Tell me about how difficult it must have been to play on this frozen field with your injured ankle.
Well, you know what? I froze it. I couldn't feel it for the whole game, so it wasn't a major factor. But playing on this concrete was something else. But we walked away with a victory, and it's just awesome feeling.
What does this mean to a team that's had the best record since '96, but has always had heartbreak in the playoffs?
You know what? It just finally we capped it off. I mean, it's been so frustrating over the past 5 years since I've been here. But you know what? Now we're going to go back to Montreal, and we're going to go party for a whole week.
Anthony, well done. Congratulations. The Grey Cup's waiting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anthony Calvillo with a tremendous day today as we rejoin Chris.
There's Stefan Reed celebrating with Azuma Okeke. It's the 5th Grey Cup in the history of the Montreal Alouettes, and all have been won against Alberta teams, either the Calgary Stampeders or the Edmonton Eskimos. And you can see the players dancing their way down to the stage near the dressing rooms as they get set to accept the cup. But first, let's rejoin Mark.
Thanks, Chris. Here's Pat Woodcock, who set a CFL Grey Cup record with his 99-yard touchdown catch. What was that like?
It was a dream come true. You know, those are things that you dream about growing up. First of all, to get to the Grey Cup game, and then to be able to make a big play, a long touchdown run to put your team ahead. And it's a great day, and you know, I couldn't have finished off a better way.
Pat, I remember you joining the Alouettes late last year. You couldn't get off the special teams. That was your one role. This year, you finally got a chance to be a receiver, and it's really paid off for you.
Absolutely. It's difficult to join a team mid-season like I did last year, and being able to be in training camp this year and really forge my role and really put myself in place to be an important part of this team was a great thing, and I think it was key to our success this year.
A lot of changes made on this Montreal team. A lot of veterans did not come back after the offseason. You're among the new guys. What kind of a new attitude was put on this team?
Well, I think, you know, it all starts with the head man, Coach Matthews, who brings a new attitude wherever he goes, and he just instilled in us that we were going to win, and the players bought into that right from the start. He's done it all before, so when he speaks, you listen, and you see the results today.
How frustrating was it to play on this field surface today, frozen? It seemed it really limited a lot of things out there.
It really was a little frustrating, and I think it's a little rough for the fans. They don't get to see us at our best on a day like today when the field's in such bad condition, but, you know, we stuck it out. It was the same field for both teams, so the best team won.
I remember when you played your first game back in Ottawa this year, you had something like 100 family and friends watching. But today you had some family and friends watching back in the East on television. Would you like to say hello?
I sure would. You know, my wife and my dad made it out for the trip here today, and it was great to have them here. But my mom and my sister are back home in Toronto watching the game on TV. I love you guys, and I wish you were here. And I wish everybody in Ottawa was here, too. I'll see you guys in a few days.
Pat, they're celebrating in Glencairn tonight.
They sure are. I can't wait to get back.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
All right, here's Steve for the presentation of the Grey Cup.
It gives me great pleasure at this time to call upon the new commissioner of the CFL, Mr. Tom Wright, to present the 2002 Grey Cup to the Montreal